All right, today we're diving into a really provocative book, Fuck Her Silly, by Dr. DuBois. It's written as a kind of psychological manual for sexual dynamics, and our job here is to just break down the core concepts exactly as the author presents them.
So right out of the gate, the author draws a line in the sand. She makes it incredibly clear who this book is not for. It's not for the usual crowd. This is aimed at someone looking for something much deeper than just a few surface-level tips. And then you get hit with this line. This book is a weapon. I mean, that's not exactly your typical self-help title, right? It immediately sets this tone of intensity, of real purpose. So the natural question is, a weapon against what?
Well, according to the author, it's a weapon against what she calls disconnected, boring, and totally forgettable sex. The whole book is framed as the solution to a very specific problem she sees in the modern world.
And she's super clear about this distinction. On one side, you've got the stuff this book completely rejects. You know, those 5 tips to make her moan listicles. On the other side is what this is really about, being a manual to rewire her brain, a guide on psychological control, and ultimately about becoming absolutely unforgettable.
See, the core argument here is that modern sexuality has gotten, well, cheap. It's been boiled down to TikTok trends and porn tropes that, ironically, just leave people feeling more disconnected. This book presents itself as the antidote to all that superficiality.
Which leads us directly into the book's fundamental philosophy. The entire system pivots away from the purely physical and focuses almost entirely on the psychological.
And this is the central question the author wants you to ask. Her answer? It is unequivocally psychological. The book argues that the encounters that really stick with you have almost nothing to do with what you physically do, and everything to do with the mental and emotional state you're able to create.
To explain this, the author introduces a key term, resonance. Now, this isn't just about chemistry in the vague sense. It's defined as something much more active. It's a deep psychological attunement, the ability to actually guide a partner's nervous system, to lead them out of their own head and into a state of pure pleasure. It's a connection that goes way beyond skin deep.
This quote really captures what resonance is supposed to feel like. The goal isn't just physical release, it's total mental occupation. It's about creating an experience so immersive that it just bypasses conscious thought and imprints itself on a much, much deeper level.
So how do you actually do that? Well, this brings us to the first pillar of the book's practical advice, which the author calls the religion of rhythm. And here we get this really powerful metaphor. The idea is to completely shift your mindset. You're not trying to perform like you're in a porn clip, all aggressive and goal-oriented. Instead, you should think of yourself as a musician playing an instrument. That implies sensitivity, pacing, building a whole experience rather than just a series of moves.
Okay, let's break down a core technique from the book called the edge pulse. The logic is really counterintuitive. Step 1, you build arousal slowly, almost hypnotically, to build trust. But step 2 is the game changer. Right at the moment of peak arousal, instead of speeding up, you deliberately slow down. You might even pause. The whole point is to stretch out that peak sensation, turning a fleeting moment into what the author calls a full nervous system event.
So ultimately, rhythm is presented as way more than just physical pacing. It's described as a tool for hypnotic control, for psychological conditioning. The goal is to create a pattern that your partner's nervous system learns to trust, and in the book's own words, learns to surrender to. The second major pillar of this philosophy is all about nonverbal communication. It's framed as a form of quiet leadership and control.
So, the book redefines some common words in a totally nonverbal context. Praise isn't about what you say, it's about adjusting your rhythm when you feel her body respond. It's a way of silently communicating, I see you, I feel you. Possession is conveyed through stillness, like pausing to hold eye contact, which sends the message, you are mine in this moment. And then there's the most provocative one, punishment, which is defined as withdrawing sensation, breaking the rhythm to communicate that pleasure must be earned back through her complete surrender and focus.
This whole concept is built on the idea that stillness and silence are the ultimate forms of authority in this dynamic. The argument is that a quiet, grounded presence communicates far more control and confidence than any words you could ever speak.
Okay, so what's the point of all this? Where does it lead? Well, the final section of the book is about putting all these techniques together to achieve one specific outcome, becoming unforgettable.
And the book is very clear about what that means. The goal isn't just to be good in bed. It's to become the benchmark, the standard against which all her future partners are measured. It's about rewiring her brain, leaving an imprint on her nervous system, and becoming the definition of what true presence and attunement feels like. All while, in the author's words, making her feel ravished while feeling completely respected.
When you boil it all down, the entire methodology, from the rhythm to the nonverbal commands, is designed to create a deep imprint, even what the author calls an obsession. The aim is to use psychological conditioning to make your presence the new standard that her body physically craves.
And this final thought really encapsulates the book's entire philosophy. It reframes the whole goal away from a physical endpoint, like an orgasm, and defines it instead as a psychological state. So whether you agree with the methods or not, the core argument is that the most profound sexual experiences are born from a mental and emotional release, not just a physical one. And that is the central idea behind Dr. Callie DuBois' work.